I'm Thomas Reiner, the Lean Farmer, and welcome to another short video from Farming Outside the Box. So, two things today. One, what is waste? And then, what is the difference between value-added and non-value added? So I have a lot of people make comments to my videos, which I love because you're watching and we start talking. But a lot of people, when they think of waste, they're not thinking of the lean 8 forms of waste. So let me show you a couple examples of what I do not consider lean waste. This is not one of the 8 forms of waste. It is waste, but it's not lean waste. This is not one of the 8 waste either. Okay, so while those are waste, they're not the waste that I'm talking about in processes. So the 8 forms of waste in lean are, and I always do it in a story, try to do it in a story, you overproduce, you have inventory, you have to transport that inventory around, then you end up getting a defect in all that inventory, then you have over-processing to fix it, excess motion, people are waiting on you, and then of course you're wasting all that potential while you're doing all that stuff. Those are the defined 8 forms of waste. So you may look at something and go, this is a big bureaucracy. Yes, there's a lot of waste in there, but we need to get good at specifically identifying which waste it is. So that's something, if you're going to be a lean farmer, you got to be able to know the 8 waste and be able to see them. And believe it or not, that actually takes some practice. It's not super easy to do. Once you start seeing it, it's like impossible not to see. But you have to look for those 8 forms of waste and try to specifically identify them. Now, what is the difference between value-added and non-value-added? Value-added, when you're thinking about manufacturing, is when you're basically transforming the shape of the product in some way, okay? It's when the saw is actually sawing or the machine is actually machining. When you get into farming, that can be a little bit harder to sometimes see. It's gonna take a little more practice. But check this out. Here's a quick example of something that we do every single day, and you can look for the value added in this process and the non-value added. So, looking at the value-added piece of brushing your teeth, it's only when those brushes are touching your teeth that there's value. Other than that, you're opening cabinets, or I'm taking tops off, putting toothpaste on, putting the toothpaste up, closing the cabinet, getting the water going. It's only when those brushes touch my mouth that I'm actually adding real value. And there's even some waste in that process, I'm sure. And then when you're done brushing your teeth, you have to do it all over again. Rinse off the brush, maybe dry it off depending on what you do, and then put it back up, full of non-value added. Alright, so the non-value added is all of the waste. It's one of those 8 forms of waste that I've been talking about. So as you go throughout your process, whether it's something you're doing in your house or whether it's farming, look for the 8 waste and be thinking in your head, what is value added and what is not value added? Value added is something that the customer wants to pay for. The customer does not want to pay for transportation. They do not want to pay for the inventory that you have. They do not want to pay for all the grain that you have stored in your grain shed or in your barn. They want to pay for that big steak. They want to pay for that burger. They want to pay for corn that you've grown. They don't want to pay for all of the over-processing, the walking back and forth, any of that extra stuff. That's all waste in the process. You may have to do it in your process because your process could be full of waste, but that's not what a customer wants. That is the difference between non-value added and value added, and I promise you, your processes and mine are full of non-value added waste. You learn to see that waste and eliminate it, and you're gonna be a much happier person. Thanks again for watching Farming Outside the Box.